do that. All right. So today we're going to go over the entire module basically real quick though, because like I said, I really think that you guys have got this material. Y'all have been over it so much. We're just going to hit a few highlights. Some things that I noticed while grading that we were weaker in some areas than others. So we're going to kind of highlight some of those things. And then I'm really going to kind of open it up to you guys. And I want to see what questions y'all have, because I know y'all got some, and what y'all are taking away from this module, basically. Okay. All right. So let's see. Any questions before we go on with that? Any questions?
I have a question. I'm at work actually, and I'm standing outside, so I'll have to turn the camera and my mic off.
That's fine. I appreciate you listening to us. No problem, Latara. Thank you so much for being here.
Big brownie points for being at work and still coming to school.
That's
Love
right.
it.
That's right. That's dedication right there. That's dedication. I love it. Okay. Awesome. All right, ladies. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. We're going to pop over into our chapter 8 PowerPoint, hit a few highlights there real quick.
Because I know where I normally having problems that is the ICD-10 coding, like when you have a description of the patient and trying to come up with that code, and if it say codes and you're only seeing one code, you're looking like, well, okay, how do I come up with these other codes? What do I look for in order to find these extra codes? Because I know like the last one that you got us to do, it's like the chapter 11 review, but I know once we get to that, how one of them, I had a question about when they say ICD codes, and then you have the different 3 little codes, but you only see one code for one thing. That's one I'm having problems with, the ICD coding.
Okay, I got you. And that's out of your ICD-10 manual.
Yes.
We are going to, let's see, you just started, we covered some ICD-10 in the 152 module. Our first group actually started at the end of module 152. So you guys, when we kind of wrap the module back around before you graduate, y'all are going to cover that module in the end. But we will get more in depth on how to go through. And correct me if I'm wrong, Marcia, there is another module where we get really in depth with ICD-10, right? She might not be in with us right now. She might have to take a call or something. Where's she? Where's my PowerPoint? But basically, when you're looking at these scenarios and stuff, you're going to have, a lot of times you're going to ask you for your CPT, which is generally going to be that E&M code, right? That's where you'll find that. And then they'll ask you for those diagnosis codes. And those are the ones you're going to look for in that ICD-10 manual. There we go. And it's all about recognizing the keywords in these scenarios, okay? You're going to look for the keywords that are going to clue you into what diagnosis you're going to be looking for. And that's kind of one of the things I wanted to talk to y'all about today too, going into that. I saw in the discussion questions, a lot of folks think that the hardest thing about this job, y'all remember the discussion question was, what do you think the hardest thing about medical billing and coding is going to be? And a lot of y'all said memorizing the codes. And I responded to a few of them because I wanted to remind you that you're not going to have to memorize a lot of the codes. It's more about knowing where to find the correct code, because some of these codes change every single year. The American Medical Association, that's why these manuals update every year, because these codes change, the guidelines change. It's, so you memorizing the codes, if you can do it, that's great. But I'm gonna tell you, I don't think there's any one single code that I could just spit off the top of my head and tell you exactly what it is. Now, when you get into your job and you're working in a certain specialty and you're doing a lot of the same work all day long, every day, you're going to figure out that your specialty deals with a certain set of codes more than others, and you'll get more familiar with those particular codes. So it's not all about memorizing those codes. So guys, don't stress yourself out about that. It's familiarizing yourself with these manuals. I can't stress that enough. Learning where the information is, what sections contain what information. And also, that's why I've been giving y'all some of the acronym worksheets, the terminology worksheets, so we can build your knowledge there. Because a lot of it, when you're reading these scenarios, you got to pick out the words that are your clues to find what you need to find for everything to come out accurately. Okay.
So will they be having these books or manuals at the job, or you bring your own manual? Okay.
They should supply, these manuals are really expensive. If they're expecting you to do coding, they should supply you manuals.
Okay.
Now you may have to, in some instances, I know me and Marcia's first job, we had to share manuals because we had a lot of people that worked in this office. And again, these codes the manuals are very expensive.
Okay.
So our company, we shared some, we swapped them back and forth between us. But yeah, your job should supply you with your manual.
And also, I had to switch over to my phone, guys. Sorry, my internet went out. But we had what's called cheat sheets. So I very rarely had to use a coding manual because, for example, I was in cardiology, and so I only used cardiology codes. And so we had cheat sheets of the cardiology codes that we used, and so we didn't have to use those big manuals. So, and so much is done on the on what's called a true code system, which generates the codes for you when you put it in. So we're teaching you the hard way here.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you get in, like I said, depending on where you go to work and what specialty, and whether you work for third-party billing or a individual private practice or hospital, once you get into that job, they're more than likely they're going to have somebody there who's been working there, who knows their process and what, and is going to get you into all of that and teach you what specific code sets are like Marcia said, when we started that job, some of our coworkers shared the cheat sheets or, shared whatever information we needed to know. And like I said, when I started that job, y'all, I had no experience in the medical field of any way. Like, I managed in O'Reilly's. I worked at Domino's while I was in college. My degree has nothing to do with medical billing and coding. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, nothing to do with medical billing and coding. But I couldn't find an IT job where I lived, the small town in Louisiana where I lived. So my degree got me in the door with medical billing and coding. And that's what it's been since then. Because it's, like Marcia said, it's bettered our lives so much. It's helped us better our lives so much and made such a difference. And it's, it's a good job. It's a respectable job. I've had jobs that really made me feel bad about myself. I worked for a small loan company who had me go and knock on people's door over a $55 payment, crazy stuff. I've done crazy stuff. And this is such a good job. And it's something you can feel good about, and something that help you provide for your family in a good way, a really good way. All right. So let's see. All right. So in our chapter 8 was our introduction to CPT, our CPT manual, current procedural terminology. And I also want to tell y'all too, if your start date was inside of this module, you are not going to have to take the final exam. I do have a short quiz set up for you guys for that day. But if you were not in this module for the entire module, you do not have to, don't stress about the final exam, okay? It's a short quiz that y'all are going to have to take. It will include things from all 4 chapters, but it's not some huge final exam that you got to worry about, okay?
So we don't have to take the exam.
I would make y'all take that
No big
test.
exam. No big exam. You're going to have a small quiz.
Well, are you okay? You gonna put it up there when it's time?
Yes,
or is it
ma'am.
already up there?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I think
It's up.
It should
and
be
it's
up
open.
there. It should be up
Mhm.
there, 30 or 30 lab.
Yeah, it's up.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Oh, I think I have to take the
So,
final exam
the
because mine
exam-
said 200 questions. So I think I started at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
200 questions.
You,
It
The
should have been,
exam
even the
talking
final
about-
exam shouldn't have been 200 questions.
It looked like 200 points out of. it looked like
Hello?
some
Oh,
out of
yeah.
200
Yeah,
points.
it was 200 points.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
did I? Yeah, so I must have started at the beginning.
Okay, so
yeah, but
The,
stop and
um,
think, if it's 200 points, you have a lot of points you can lose before you don't have a good
That's
grade.
it. That's the way to
Yes.
look at that. Each question on the final exam, I remember how I set it up. They're only worth 3 points. On your normal chapter exam, they've been 4 and 5 points a question. So you
Yeah.
couldn't miss very many before it dropped your score a bit. But on this one, they're only 3 points a question. So you've got wiggle room in there. You got
and
wiggle
with
room.
the exam that y'all talking about, that's for what chapter?
All of them.
What,
All the chapters.
1 through?
All of them. It's chapters 8 through 11.
Oh, okay.
But it's only what I did, y'all. I'll tell y'all straight up. I took a certain amount of questions, 5 to 10 questions, depending, from each of the previous exams, chapter exams, and I put those in one exam. It's what you're going to see on that is nothing you have not already answered before. It's nothing you haven't
Do
done.
we have the
It's
option
all
to
the
take
same
the exam
information.
if we want to? Just
Huh?
do we have an option to take that exam if we want to?
Yeah, I'll do that for you if you want to. I'll give you a shot.
Oh, okay.
I don't want the shot.
And
No,
Miss
I get on your nerves when I get to doing the most with those exams.
Nah, don't ever think that y'all get on my nerves.
oh, please, guys.
Don't ever think that.
Are.
Ask
I know
Marsha.
I text
Yo.
you all through the weekend and
I
everything.
tell y'all.
Like, I be like, hey, look, I just got off of work, 16 hours. Can I redo this? You know?
That's why you're at Unitech though, right? That's
Yes,
why you're
ma'am.
online for that flexibility.
Yeah, because I just
I
did
get that.
19 hours and
I get
I'm just getting home. That's why
Right.
I'm fighting to stay up.
No,
Well,
look,
we just ask that y'all realize though that we do have families too, and we know that a lot of times, you know, y'all are working while we're working too. I started working at 4:45 this morning because I'm old and don't sleep good. But you know, so you know, if it's something important, then absolutely. If you don't get us, please know that we see your text message, and we're not going to
Maybe.
give you zeros for something. We'll still, you know what I mean?
yeah,
We
Yeah,
can't
that's why-
help what we don't know.
right. And that's why I usually stress in onboarding that if y'all don't get me at night, just know that I'll get with you first thing in the morning, and I'm not gonna hold you responsible because I didn't get back in touch with you. Okay.
And
I'm
she
just-
really
that wouldn't be
responded
fair. That wouldn't
whatever
be
time
fair.
y'all text her. I ain't lying, because I bother
Yeah.
her a lot.
Yeah. She does get back with you. She don't get back with you that night. I said, oh, she probably went to sleep or dealing with her daughter. But the next morning she answers. Because I'm the type that's hard on myself. I'm the type that I feel I have to always make A's. And if I'm a few points off and made a B, I'm so hard on myself for the whole week. So my kids and my husband be saying, what's wrong with you? I'm like, oh, Lord, I just made that B. He said, don't be so hard on yourself. You made a B. At least you did it. I said, yeah, but I like to see that A on there. I always was like that since elementary school. Because I was always on the honor roll. And now in college, I
Yeah.
feel I got to have that A all the time.
Well, Miss Brandy, they can just come on and be a part of my class. We'll take them out of yours and put them in.
You ain't taking my good group of people. I don't know what you're dealing with over there, and I don't want to know. But I know I love them. So
But that's your business. This is my business.
Because when I notice we starting a new module, I say, oh, we won't have Miss Brandy as our professor.
oh no, you
again,
won't
another-"
keep me till the end.
Oh, okay.
You get to keep me the whole kit and caboodle.
I thought we'd get to change professors because when I was at University of Phoenix, we kept changing professors. The next module be another professor.
Look, I
Got it.
finished that 4-year degree I was talking about. I finished it at University of Phoenix. And I tell you what,
Yeah.
I don't think I could tell you what any of my professors look like. Like I
No, you
never
don't
see
see
the
the
people.
professors, but
I
I
never hear
see
their
their
voice.
name. Yeah.
They were
that's
some text on a screen and that was it. That was it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Cause
Yeah.
that's why I was like, oh, we get to change. We're gonna have another professor. I don't know how this professor is gonna be, and
No, no,
but it
this way.
ended up being you. But I know University of Phoenix a little bit more flexible. You have to have this Unitech is a little bit different from University of Phoenix. If they say you do your work, you have to turn it in by next Wednesday. But here you have to do your homework every day. So every
Well,
day my family
just
come in and see me sitting at that table doing homework.
There you go. Well, it's just the QOD that you can't, turn in
Yeah.
on Sunday if you need to.
Yeah.
But I do suggest that y'all do it daily, just to
Yeah.
not fall behind. And life happens. And
Y'all see that
Yeah.
reading? Do you want to have to do that all on the weekends?
Yeah, because I noticed I end up skipping 2 days without doing it. And when I noticed I was sitting Saturday and Sunday trying to finish it all up, I'm like, it just took my whole week. Besides working and
right.
getting back and trying to catch it all up by the weekend, it was a lot.
Read those
Exactly.
PowerPoint slides. A lot of times, if you read through your PowerPoint slides, it tells you exactly, if you're good at reading PowerPoint slides, it tells you exactly what's in the chapter. I'm not telling you not to read your chapter. What I'm telling you is,
Well, Marcia, mine is set up a little bit different. I think you set your PowerPoints up at the beginning, right? And they're available anytime, right? For them to go in and get. Mine are different. I haven't posted mine previously until we go over them. So
well,
generally they're reading the chapters before I even put the PowerPoint up. So
I'm just gonna hush my mouth. But also the ebooks do read to y'all.
Yeah.
yeah, I show them that in onboarding.
Oh, she doesn't know.
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
because I'm the type that just likes to read, so I don't worry about it reading out to me. I like to look at the words and reading myself.
All right, well, I'm
I'm just a reader, so.
I'll just be quiet then.
And I agree. I'm a reader and I like it in paper.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the ebook thing. I'm really not, but
I'm a visual
know.
learner.
all right, let's see. Share my screen. All right, so any questions on the CPT manual, on finding anything, any of the different sections in the CPT manual specifically?
Okay, so the CPT manual is the ones with the codes in them. Okay, that one. That book is so hard to go through to me.
They are all
Because-
hard to go through, honey. They're all hard to go through.
I think the ICD-10 is hard for me to go through.
Yeah, the ICD-10 is the one you were talking about.
Well, see, I haven't got a chance to use that one yet.
No, the ICD-10.
Yeah, because I just started.
Right, right. And you're not going to right this second. Have you gotten your printed books yet?
I have 3 of them. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I
good.
have
Then
my
you do have it. You do have it.
IC and the H. It's the
Hick
small.
picks.
The HCPCS you got.
The who?
HCPCS.
Oh
Hick
yeah.
picks.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that one a little more in the next one. That was in chapter 8, we did the CPT. In chapter 9, we did a little bit in HCPCS. And then in chapter 10, we talked about modifiers. So that's why I wanted to
Yeah,
check
I
in.
came in on chapter 11, 10.
Right.
Yeah,
You
we
came
did.
in right at the end.
Yeah.
Pretty much right at the end. Which, for those of y'all that did come in at the end or come in at the middle, remember, our course is kind of like a Ferris wheel. It's going to circle back around. The last module, if y'all started this one, the last module you're going to complete before you graduate is 153. This one right here. So y'all already know part of it from jumping in where we're at. And that's what, like, you guys, the grades that y'all are getting now for this module will add in to what you do when you circle back around. Okay. All right. So let's see. Y'all know Zoom's gonna cut me off at 30 minutes. So let's see. All right. So we know that the CPT manual is published by the AMA. It helps us the provider communicate with the third-party payers. All right, we know those codes are 5 digits, and we report those on the HCFA 1500 or CMS 1500, right? All right, your guideline section in the beginning of the CPT manual is where you're going to find all those important rules, right? Very important. Those are going to tell you which codes you can use together, which codes you can't use, and just your guidelines for using those codes. All right. Sections, and y'all know that they're set up section, subsection, all that fun stuff. And then your modifiers are going to be found in Appendix A. They're 2 digits, and they provide that specificity that your third-party payers are looking for, right? We'll go into more details in chapter 10.
Well, let's might as well put it on down.
One more time.
Right there.
Oh, I think she might be talking to somebody else. Okay, so any questions on CPT? CPT? No. Okay. Good deal.
I think I got that one. It's just more of chapter 11 where the where you got like stories of a patient. That's why I say in the ICD,
Right.
that's what I get a little confused on.
Yep. Let's see.
The way you did it in the review, the chapter 11 review worksheet, it made it kind of easier for me to figure out what code it was because I saw how it was. I may have gotten the second one wrong, but the first one you had like the sprain,
Mhm.
the activity, I found it like really quickly. So if
There
it's
you
like that
go.
on the test, like I'm good to go.
You all right then? You'll be fine. Jennifer, I don't think you have to take the exam. And I don't know if I put any of those scenario questions on the quiz.
Okay, I
Um,
can go back and check.
Yeah, but just I'm glad that that helped.
Yeah, it
I'm very
did.
glad that that helped. And that's what y'all, the more y'all go through it and the more y'all do, the quicker you'll get at it. The faster. It's just like anything. It's just like riding a bike. The more you do it, the easier it comes to you. And by the end of this course, all this is going to be second nature. You'll be like, why did I even worry about this? You know? All right. So chapter 9 was on that HCPCS manual, which is blue, the much smaller blue manual. Thank God there's a small one. Hey. I opened up the wrong one. All right. So, and we remember that HCPCS gave us our, stands for Healthcare Common Procedural Coding System, and they were developed by CMS, or the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. And let's see. The HCPCS, something important to remember, guys, is the HCPCS was developed for Medicare and Medicaid because the CPT manual that we just talked about did not include everything that Medicare wanted reported. Okay, that was the whole reason they came up with that one. All right, let's see. You remember you've got your different levels. Your CPT is your level 1 in your CPT manual. Your level 2 is your HCPCS. They're revised quarterly. Let's see. And Medicare and Medicaid are not the only people that ask for HCPCS codes. Other third-party payers are now asking for HCPCS codes for different services. Let's see. Did anybody have any specific questions about HCPCS?
I do.
What you got?
How do we know when to go to HCPCS? Like if we're coding, then how do we know to go to HCPCS for it?
Let's see. Well, anytime that you are doing, Marcia, you there? That's a good question. I've never coded HCPCS. I've never coded where Medicare was something that was really prevalent. But I want to say, anytime you're doing billing for people who are Medicare providers or Medicaid providers, you're going to be using the HCPCS codes. And I want to say that all your other payers accept the HCPCS codes too. But yeah, it's, and here's the thing. If you code something, say your first coding job, you code something, you pull the CPT code and it comes back from Medicare or Medicaid, they're going to come back and tell you, hey, I need the HCPCS code for this. And you send it back. Y'all, if you make a mistake and it's obvious, it's going to come back to you. And that's one of those things, you want to be a good coder because you don't want to keep seeing stuff over and over again. You don't want to be handling things 3 and 4 times before you finally get it paid. You know, you want to do it once and get it out your face, you know. But again, that'll come with time and learning, and it's going to depend on, again, where you work and what you're coding, who your patients are. If you're a general practitioner, an older general practitioner usually sees an older set of patients. You're going to see a whole lot of Medicare, a whole lot of Medicare. And that's when those HCPCS codes will come into play.
Okay, one more question.
What you got?
When you're coding HCPCS, would you ever use the CPT book as well?
Marcia, you there?
I think Marcia's going.
I think she is too. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I don't think so. But I'm not sure. But I'm gonna look into it and find out for you. I'm gonna find
So Ms.
out.
Brandy, since the time is gonna run out, you're gonna do another
Yeah.
Zoom meeting, or?
Yeah, I'll actually, let me do that while we're on here.
Because I'm like, that, because we're gonna need a little bit more time. 'Cause,
We are,
you know,
we definitely
come up
are.
And we got some questions to ask, because we about to do this final exam tomorrow, and
Let's see. Let me set up another one real quick and we'll hop over.
yeah.
I am already signed in, people. There we go. Y'all, I guess what I'm gonna do so that we don't keep having this issue is I'm just gonna go ahead and subscribe to the Zoom Pro thing. And I think at this point it would be worth it. Because it is causing us some issues. All right, do y'all want me to email this to y'all?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna send it to everyone. All right, that's it for when this cuts off on us. You'll just go jump right in that one and we'll continue on.
So we on
That is probably just gonna cut us off in a minute. Y'all just want to break here and jump into the other one and go from there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and end this one and see y'all in a minute.